this is probably the best season premiere we've ever had, easily. I think the last year's season premiere was the Bibiani versus JT match, and was it Heroes versus DC Movie News or DC?
No, it was Heroes versus Superhero News.
Oh wow! So last year's season started off with Robin Bibbs. That's awesome. But back on topic. This never mind. This isn't the best season premiere. My bad. I lied because
I think we found our opening.
Hello and welcome to the first week back for the movie trivia Schmoedown, and what a way to kick it off with a triple threat between Rachel the Crusher Cushing, Mike Kalinowski, and the little evil himself, with the prize being the right to fight Sam Levine for the singles championship belt. We are back for season 5 of the movie trivia Schmoedown. My name is Jacob Blunden, and this is the Reactors Summit. Joining me today is Matthew Kearns and Chris Clark. Matt, how are you?
You guys saw my reaction. How you think I'm doing?
I think you're feeling fine.
Chris Clark, how are you?
I am doing fantastic, and now Matt knows exactly how it feels to have a favorite competitor get TKO'd in the season premiere of a season. How does it feel, buddy? It's happened to me a year ago. Deal with it.
I hate you, Clark. I hate you.
Oh, sign of things to come for this season, I guess. All right. Let's dive head first into this. We only had the one match to cover this week, guys. It was, of course, the triple threat between Rachel, Mike, and JTE. Dale the Dude is going to give us a quick recap of this match. So, Dale, take it away.
What is going on, everybody? This is Dale the Dude Gibbs coming at you with an all-new season of Schmoedown Dude Talk. I'm officially now on YouTube because Christian Harloff and Late to the Party and Taylor Robinson, basically everybody with a decent web presence has told me YouTube's the place to be, dude. So I got a YouTube channel now, which does come with some added benefits, dude. For instance, my videos don't only have to be 2 minutes and 20 seconds now, which is nice. They can be a bit longer. Although I do know that y'all have only tolerated my ridiculous rantings for about that amount of time, so I do promise not to make my videos that much longer. But hey, it gives the dude some breathing room. Now, since I do have a YouTube channel, it'd be nice if y'all could subscribe and share it and hit the thumbs up. Whatever y'all YouTubers do when you like stuff, just do that, dudes. But on to the good stuff now, dude. Season 5 of the movie trivia Schmoedown kicked off today with a triple threat match, dude. I am talking about 3 of the top-ranked contenders of last season going head-to-head. I'm talking about Rachel the Crusher Cushing going up against Little Evil JTE, going up against Mike K.O. Kalinowski, who had a pretty damn good entrance for this match, dude. Cool entrance, one for the books, but other than that entrance, Kalinowski just kind of did not show up to play in that match today, dude. I mean, going 0-4 in that first round before he even got a question right, just didn't come up to play. But listen, Kalinowski, don't get all in your head about it, dude. I guarantee you, you're going to come back with a vengeance. You and Miss Movies, you're going to do your thing. I'm feeling it right here, all right, dude? Now, Rachel the Crusher Cushing had an entrance of her own, dude. Coming out, she ripped like the innards out of a lion, dude. I mean, sending a direct message to Ken Knapsack and the entire Lion's Den that she ain't taking their crap no more. I mean, she is on a mission of vengeance, and I love it, dude. I'm loving every minute of it, dude. And she sent that message pretty clearly with her first round, a perfect first round for Rachel Cushing, joining that club of perfect first rounders, dude. Now, this whole match basically came down to Rachel Cushing and JTE, who, from last season, has proved he is not a contender to be underestimated or taken lightly, dude. He was very deserving of the Comeback Player of the Year award that he did receive at the Schmoedown Awards, dude. But listen, JTE, you put up a hell of a fight in this match, but come on now, dude. I mean, we all knew this was going to Cushing from the get-go. We could feel it in the Schmoedown air, dude. Now, I'm calling it right now, dude. First episode of the season, I am calling it. Rachel Cushing is going to be our next singles championship belt holder, dude. I can feel it. And I want y'all to remember that I said this now, so when it does happen, I want to see gifs. I want to see gifs of me calling it right now, okay? So here it is again. Rachel Cushing will be the next singles championship belt holder, dude. There's your gif. Because we are dealing with a new breed of player. When I talk about Rachel Cushing, dude, her talent in this league is unprecedented, dude. I mean, there ain't a category she's bad at. She knows everything. It's ridiculous. It's like if Drew McQueenie and Bibiani had a baby, and that baby was like childhood best friends with Dan Murrell and was mentored by John Roca. Like, I don't know how else to say it. She is just movie trivia greatness in human form. It is crazy to see, dude. And she has the character of a champion, dude. She is poised, calm, collect, don't say much, only talks crap when she has to, but when she's in that ring, she's an assassin, dude. She is silent but deadly. Alright, there's probably a better way to phrase that, but I don't know what it is, dude. And with this win today, dude, gives her an opportunity to play for the belt Sam Levine, dude. Now, listen, Sam Levine is a dude I have gotten to know kind of well since the Spectacular, dude. Me and him, you know, we've chatted, we've had drinks, we've gone on couples retreats to Napa Valley, we've had spa days, whatever. We're basically best friends, okay, dude? And Sam Levine, I'm telling you right now, dude, you best buckle up, because there is a steamroller coming, and you might just get crushed by the crusher, dude. So you best strap in, do your homework, because I guarantee this match you have with Cushing ain't gonna be as easy as it was with Harloff, which kinda ain't that hard to do. Sorry, Harloff. Come on. But Sam Levine, you best get ready, dude, because I think there's a new champion in town. And listen, y'all, this was only the first episode of the entire season, and it was this crazy. So who knows what else is in store for Season 5. All I know is it's gonna be crazy, dude. I can't wait for it, and I know you can't either. Until next time, I'm Dale the Dude.
Thanks, Dale. Well, Chris, I'm going to start with you now. You just mentioned then, yeah, this time last season, you started off with a pretty hurtful match. How does it feel, again, watching JTE lose this one here today?
It's karma. It's the best feeling of karma in the entire world. And I feel like this is a step to what this season will become. Because look, JT is gonna fall. Then the Patriots are gonna fall. But guess who's gonna rise? I think we can make that assumption. History repeats itself, but it repeats itself in the mirror universe. And when the mirror universe is involved, that's when things succeed. And I feel like this season we are about to see the rock and roll heaven of William Bibiani and Whitney Seibel becoming the champions by December. So this is a great way to start the season.
Can we just talk about the fact that we were talking about a triple threat between Rachel Cushing, JTE, and Mike Kalinowski, and Chris Clark still found a way to bring in Bibiani and Whitney Seibel. He still found a way to do that. So
I'm not shocked at all.
Matt, you mentioned earlier in the summit and the reaction, you were quite disappointed and quite upset. Explain your feelings while watching this match.
Well, all right, let's do it. So, pre-match interviews, I'm really excited. Mike's there. He's got the smiles. You know, he's ready. He knows he's lost to Rachel and JT before, but that's going to change today, and he's going to get the number 1 contenders match. He comes out as Stallone from Cobra with Brianne Chandler, and you know, he's got the Stallone thing. You know, he's excited, he's happy, he's ready to compete. Then round 1 happens. You know, I go, you know what? Hey, listen, it's round 1. Scored some points. He's going to be back in round 2. And then Rachel, whom I love, she spins comic book movies and keeps it. I go, oh, okay, that's fine. He's got some more categories on there, you know. And he spins Oscar movies twice. And then the light slowly drained from my eyes and everything went to black. And then I saw Mark Riley for some reason. I don't know why. I think my default is I don't know. Rachel came out as Gabe Walker from Cliffhanger, so that was pretty awesome. Overall, it was a good semi-depressing start to the season, but things can only go up from here, I told myself last night.
Well, let's not
funny to you in some way?
Let's not bury the lead here like we have. Rachel Cushing walked away with her number one contender's spot. She with her number one, she is the number one contender. She will have her title match against Sam Levine in the near future, most likely during title week, once we find out who the winner of Top That and Top 10 is later, which we will be talking about later in the show. Guys, this
is awesome. Let's call it like this. This is freaking awesome. I started to see it from here, but Rachel, if you're anyone who was a part of Schmoedown for an extended amount of time, you knew who Rachel was before the Schmoedown. Rachel ran the Schmoeville Submit. She was an editor on Schmoedown.com. That's where I knew her. I talked to her all the time about movies and this and so when Ken brought her on the live show, it was so cool that she was competing, and now it's like seeing someone that you knew, it's like if you went to high school with Tom Cruise and you see him now, you're like, hey, I knew Tom Cruise when he was just in drama club. That's kind of it's just this cool thing. It's just awesome to see someone who is such a face and is so nice and awesome getting this title shot. And I said it on our reaction, and I'm gonna say it here. Sam Levine needs to wear brown pants to this title match, because if Rachel plays half of the game she played in this number one contenders match, she is walking away with that belt, and I will be so happy for that. Not as happy as someone else on this panel, but that would just be awesome to see Rachel have that belt.
Yeah, it absolutely would be. Look, she was dominant in this match. I came out so last season, Rachel started off incredibly. She really came out the gate with Inner Geekdom and Nerds Watch, rest in peace. And then in singles, she had a really, really great first match against
Nick
Scarpino. And then she didn't play singles for a very long time until the singles tournament. She proved, I deserve this is why I deserve a singles spot. Her two performances in the singles tournament were insane and absolutely incredible. And then her match against Sam Levine. Look, her match against Sam Levine, she was just off a little bit. And then she had the Inner Geeked and Fatal 5-0 where she just missed out a little bit. And then at the very end, and then obviously she had the Blofeld Cat match where she performed incredibly. This is a way to really, really, really announce your 2018. Rachel will be one of the competitors to fear in 2018. Look, there is a reason she was the number one draft pick for everyone. Every single fantasy league Rachel was the number one draft pick. She scored a the second perfect round she has ever scored before. She was insane in this match. She stole 2 points. She didn't even get to answer a question in round 3 and still managed to get 20 points. I don't think any competitor has ever done that, period.
Let's be honest, if she was able to answer her third round questions, it's very possible William Bibiani would not have that record anymore.
Yeah, it's very, very possible that record would have been broken. I mean, look, a lot of people have said in the past, the record, look, Bibiani got the record, one, because Mark and Drago had such an incredible match as well. And that's where the records come into the thing, is because if your competitor has an incredible match as well, you're able to break the records because your scores are just that level. And that is just true of the nature of the Schmoedown, which is great. But man, this was such an incredible match, guys, and I am so thankful for Rachel. I'm so happy for her. You could see, like, when she heard that JTE got that question wrong, you just heard it in her voice. She was so happy and just so, like, could not believe that she had gotten there and that she had done this. And I am just over the moon, and congratulations, Rachel. You have earned this spot. You have deserved it. Just go out and get it again when you get it for the Inner Geekdom and you get it for the teams tournament, because that's coming, and you're going to be the first competitor, not just 2 belts, with all 3 belts on you. So it's coming.
Wow.
Rachel, wow, well done. Chris, what were your thoughts?
Okay, this match in particular was a fantastic way to actually start the season off. Like, I made jokes that, yeah, the TKO was karma. Having Matt's favorite competitor get KO'd at the start of the season is karma. Yeah, that's true. It's all fun and games. But at the end of the day, Rachel did play her A game. And I don't even think JTE expected how good Rachel was. JTE played a respectable game. Rachel played in probably the best. This is probably the best season premiere we've ever had, easily. I think last year's season premiere was the Bibiani versus JT match, and was it Heroes versus DC Movie News or DC?
No, it was Heroes versus Superhero News.
Oh wow! So last year's season started off with Robin Bibbs. That's awesome. But back on topic. Never mind. This isn't the best season premiere. My bad. I lied because
I think we found our opening.
I lied. Okay, cool. But look. Wow. I just lied to your faces. But look. This match is, KO Kalinowski was Mike KO'd Kalinowski in this match. But you know what? He's going to survive. He is going to thrive. This was one bad game. It's not going to kill him. Nobody left this game feeling bad. Well, maybe Kalinowski. But moving forward, this match will be a match that will be remembered. And it will be because of what Rachel was able to do and how good she was able to perform. So all awards go to Rachel for this one. This was fantastic.
I'm sorry, I just need to steal for a second. Mike didn't lose, like Brianne Chandler said. He got 3rd place in this match, okay? That's what we're saying. He got 3rd place.
Touche, Matt.
Touche. Now, look, there were another couple of things that we need to talk about from this match that I noticed. For starters, Chris, you bring it up. Mike isn't part of the post-match interviews. He walked out. He left. Brienne stood there and delivered the post-match interview for him. Is there a chance? Now, we have been seeing this. I'm bringing it up.
Don't you dare do this, Jacob!
There has... Okay, on our good friends Aaliyah and Dan, their podcast, they have a section called Heel Watch, where they have been teasing that they believe Mike Kalinowski might be having a heel turn. Last season, when Brienne went over to Mike Kalinowski, the conversation was Brienne's going good. What if it's the other way? What if Brienne has started to corrupt Mike again and Mike is turning into the heel? Matt?
Why do you say these things when you know they'll hurt me? I mean, is it possible? Sure. But it breaks me because Mike's such a good hero, and then my mind starts to go to, well, wait, what about Roxy and Johnny? Like, what about the League? Is the League gonna break? What? Just, Mike, if you're listening to this, which I assume you are, I assume every competitor watches our show. first and foremost. But you can cut that. Listen, Mike, if you're listening to this, don't do it. Okay? Because here's the thing. Wonder Bread tastes amazing. I want you to know that. I had a Wonder Bread sandwich earlier today, and it tastes amazing. Okay? You know why? Because it was good. Okay? No one likes soil Wonder Bread. No one eats it with the little green in there. Okay? I don't know what I'm saying right now, but Brienne, I love you. But can you turn face and not turn my heel? Okay? Because here's the thing. I try to keep a very balanced fandom in the Schmoedown, and I always try to keep my support more face than heel. If Mike turns heel, I think I might be supporting more heels than faces. I have to look. I don't know what that would mean for me. Dan and Lee, are you going to have to start a heel watch for me? Maybe. I don't know. Go to Clark, who's laughing his butt off right now, I'm sure, because my pain is good to him.
Okay, so let me say this right and foremost. I'm going to put sad violin music behind that if you already didn't notice.
Please do. I don't know what the hell that Wonder Bread thing was. In my mind, it made sense, and then it came out, and I went, oh, what the fuck am I saying?
Well, you know what? It's all delicious, and it's at the end of the day, it's still full wheat. Anyway, but getting back on track, I feel like what are we talking about?
We're talking about Mike heel watch.
Mike becoming a heel. That's great. That's awesome. Beautiful. Wonder Bread heel watch, same thing. Anyway. Okay. Look. Mike becoming a heel is something that we've known. He saw it in his eye when he was in that car. It's not a surprise to me. It's just Matt being in denial. All of his favorites are gonna eventually become heels. And when you become a heel, you have to put your foot in the shoe and join them. Because look.
What shoe?
But look. Mike being a heel actually makes a ton of sense. His personality of being a face throughout the entire last season is a great juxtaposition, because you could see him maybe coming out as Two-Face next time, and him being like the Harvey Dent, like him having two alternate personalities. We've never had that in the Schmoedown. Somebody who's also a face and a heel at a blink of an eye. He could be the first multiple personality character in the Schmoedown, which could be interesting. And I feel like they should explore that, because he could rock that. What comes with Kalinowski in the future, who knows? But it could only mean more interesting storylines.
Wait. Can I just for a second? That's really, because what if now Brienne did talk about Mike and her being a team. What if this multiple personalities thing is real? And when Mike plays with Brienne, he's heel. But when he's on DC Movie News, he's face. That would be interesting.
This brings up an interesting point. Brienne hinted at a match. She never hinted. And then when pressed on it, went and Matt, and to his credit, as a great interviewer, Mark pressed him. Mark pressed her for another answer, and he pressed and said, "Are you two going to be in a match together?" And she wouldn't answer that. So
maybe, yeah.
What are we seeing here? Is there something? Look, it's the Schmoedown. Something is going to happen. It is there is
cooking. Brienne Chandler is a very smart person. She's got something cooking.
She very much does, and I think there is definitely something here. I don't know what it is, but there is definitely something there. I do want to also bring up another thing that I noticed. I'm not sure if, and I haven't seen a lot of other people talk about this. JTE didn't walk out with the Lion's Den. Not everyone from the Lion's Den was there.
They did say Tom was busy. That's why he was
Tom was busy. Okay. Snyder wasn't there. Ken and Grace were.
Yeah.
But more importantly, in the post-match interviews, they weren't there. In the pre-match interviews, they weren't there. Now, I don't know if that's a stipulation of the new season, and that is something that they're doing now, is that in the new season, it's just going to be the competitors that are having the interviews, and the managers and them are not going to be part of the interviews. Fair enough. I can possibly see that, but
it could be, listen, here's the thing. Tom Dagnino, winner of Manager of the Year last year, he won for a reason. He manages quite a tight ship, okay? So you know what? This could be a total thing where he's like, listen, if I'm not there, we don't appear on camera in the in the promos or post-match interviews without me, because, Tom wants to make sure that, no one lets any of his plans slip. Not to say that JT or Ken or Grace would, but, just it's smart to have your manager there just to, be the mouth, because Tom knows what he wants to be released when released. So, there's a lot of different answers to this question.
Did Tom know that JTE wasn't going to win, that JTE wasn't good enough? And that's why he was like, I'm not going to waste my time? I mean, you think, this is his golden child. This is his champion this is his champion, his one half of his team champion, who now has a number one contenders spot. And he's not there for him?
He's probably filming a music video.
Yeah, Drake, just has a crazy schedule, and Bobby Gucci's, in there. Drake's video is gonna fail.
But the fact that none of the Lions Den were there, it was probably just poor scheduling. They couldn't make it. But if you want to look into it, I would assume that JTE might be there might be something there in the future. But we'll see if it's a pattern, because we can't make that final call until maybe the next match with Snyder. If nobody's there for Snyder, then something is up.
I'll definitely say that. I think this is it is a very interesting point you bring up, Jacob. And I think if Ellis Snyder, which we'll talk about later, if when that happens and we get this again, maybe it wasn't, if this was just a one-time thing, scheduling. I mean, mind you, people, they do the Schmoedowns for free. And they all got busy schedules, okay? But if it happens again, I think this is an interesting topic to definitely revisit. And I think we should start calling this Lions Den Watch. Hashtag. Trademark.
Hashtag trademarked. Because, no, I think there is something there. I think we are possibly starting to see the little nugget. I mean, look, hey, Tom got Manager of the Year. Well deserved. I do believe it was deserved. He lost 2 faction members last year.
Okay, he dropped 2 faction members, all right?
He lost one. He lost one pretty publicly. Another manager swooped in and just stole a whole competitor from him.
Let's call this like this is. And Draco knew he was on his way out. It's all camera stuff. Tom,
can we just not bring this up, please?
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, you know what, Clark, you're right, because this conversation is not a necessity, so we should move on.
Oh, man.
And on that note, let's spin this back and talk about the other big reveal that came from this match. One of the big moments that we've all been waiting on, and Christian just loved to draw it out and tease us. Now, okay, so I'm just going to set this one up. Rachel, actually, no, before we get to the reveal, Rachel is on the phone to someone.
Yeah.
Real quick, who is she on the phone to? I'm assuming possibly having an interview for for someone to manage her, because if you rewatch the match, all 3 competitors you've got: Faction, JTE, Lions Den, Mike Kalinowski, the lead, Rachel Cushing, NA.
Yeah.
She doesn't have a manager. She doesn't have a team.
Some people didn't pick up on this, is that a lot of people thought she was talking to her teammate, but she clearly says, "Oh, my teammate's here," and then she ends the conversation.
So,
yeah, who's she talking?
Look, the most obvious answer here that I'm sure everyone is going to instantly go to is Emma. She's got a number one contender.
No, it's not Emma.
She's the most obvious answer. It possibly could be. I doubt it because it is such the. This is the obvious answer.
Well, maybe the obvious answer, you might be right then, because that was my argument. But then again, Clark Wolf was the obvious answer.
I was going to say, we're talking about, but you bring up an interesting point. Emma, it could very well be Emma.
I think I know who, though.
See, here's my thing, and I'm going to throw this little nugget in, and this goes back to our conversation with Ryan and Mike. Let's say Mike, if he really wants to just break my heart, leaves the league. Roxy is a great manager. She picks up Rachel and Clark into the league. It's possible. It's very possible.
That is very much possible. I think Roxy would be a very good manager for her.
I think it could be Ricky. You could see that she could be part
God.
of the
Oh, God.
What?
Okay. All right now, but here's where I'm coming from. This is where I am now. Why I think it is most likely Emma, and from my point of view, Roxy doesn't have anything to like. Right now, Rachel has a number one contender spot. She's got a team that is insane. Like, that is a powerhouse team. Why she kind of has pickings of managers other than Tom, who I can guarantee you is probably desperate to get her, but he's never going to be able to. So
you don't know that, Jacob. Tom's a very convincing person.
He teased me last year. All right, no, that I was teased last year that could possibly happen. It ain't happening. So
no, you were teased with Jay Washington.
Yeah, Tom and Jay were the two big ones that I don't think are going to go there. So your face managers at the moment are Roxy, Ricky. Look, they're on like the cusp of being a heel or a face. Like they're kind of they're not quite a massive heel, but they're not quite faces either. So they could be there. But what does Ricky have to offer? Like, what can Ricky really offer Rachel? Let's
just say this. At least if Rachel joins the league, they get Giant LaQuasta, who is great as a backup on the mic person. So that's something to offer.
Yeah, definitely. But no, I personally think the big thing she has to offer, the reason why she will probably is because Emma has that number one contenders match. Now, we're under the assumption that she has promised it to Andraco. And Christian has said and has tweeted and has hinted that Andraco might not get that number one contender.
Wait. Time out here for a second. Wow, now the gears in my head are turning with, because listen, we know that the match between Tom Dagnino and Ken Knapsack and Rachel's new team with Clark Wolf is happening. What happens if after that match, win, lose, whatever, because we don't like to speculate, and if the Schmoedown has shown us anything, especially the tournament last year, just because you think someone's going to win doesn't mean they're going to win. So I will never assume anything, except that Mark Riley is coming back to singles. What if after that match, Emma, if she is the manager, comes in, which would make such a great, you have like JT and Snyder being, the Patriots. Emma comes in and says, you're not going to be holding on to this belt too long. And then, we get, wow, yeah, I want this to happen now. This is opening up a lot of possibilities and could get very interesting very quick. But let's, again, for the second time, not bury the lead. Rachel Cushing is now joined with Clark Wolf. It is confirmed. Christian drew it out. He closed the door on our faces, which go back and watch our reactions, because he closed it like he tricked me. He convinced me that we weren't getting it this episode.
That fake out was perfect.
I thought they were. I said they're
so perfect.
Doing it again.
Yeah, and look, I thought it was. I thought that was really well done. It was like damn near perfect. The reveal, wow, like
Yeah.
look, it's the most obvious. It was the one that, yeah, of course it was going to be Rachel. Clark. Who else was it gonna be? Yeah, I just didn't think they would actually do it. I didn't think that they would go the most obvious route, and I am so thankful that they did. I am. Thank you so much, guys. This is going to be a powerhouse team. Matt, I know this puts the final nail in the coffin of Wolves of Steel, but
guys, that's the thing. When Clark came out, I was really excited. You can see our reaction, and then the adrenaline wears off. You're kind of just sitting there and you're reflecting on the match, and then the realization comes to you. You go, "Well, wait a second. Oh no." Yeah, I mean, listen, yes, does it mean the Wolves of Steel are not a thing? Yes, it does. But this is such a great team up. I a lot of people are like, well, it's obvious, but it's like they're going to be a powerhouse. I mean, if you look at the current champs. The reason why JT and Snyder work so well as a team is because JT knows a lot of stuff that Snyder doesn't know, and vice versa. Clark knows a lot of stuff and is very good at a lot of stuff that Rachel may know but not be as good in. And Clark is amazing. She doesn't quite have the inner geekdom stuff like Rachel does. And Rachel doesn't quite have the horror stuff like Clark does. That's how, because... And the great teams of this Schmoedown that we see are the ones where together you have more of a wide range, because that means pretty much the wheel, it matters, but it's also there's more slices on the wheel you may like to get. So this is awesome. I thought the way they chose to do it in the video was hilarious, because I swore when that door closed, I went, they're doing this again. How many post matches are we gonna have to see Rachel talking to someone behind the door? And no, the Clark just opens and goes, "Of course we're a team," and it's perfect. It was perfect. I can't wait to see that first match.
Oh yeah, Chris, what were your thoughts and what was your reaction?
Well, I was gobsmacked. Like, it just hit me in the face. I'm like, oh wow, they actually pulled that on us. This team is gonna go places. They're gonna probably be the third best team in the entire league come the end of the year. And I feel like Shire Wolves are going to I have a theory that the Shire Wolves will be no more by the end of the year, and we will get Wolves of Steel reuniting. And then Ken will redeem himself and reunite with Rachel, and they will form a faction. That's the dream sequence that I hope happens. But I feel like this team will go far, and they will be a force to be reckoned with. Whether or not they can steamroll the competition, we'll see. And I kind of agree with your assessment that I guess I feel like Andrejka, though, is going to get that #1 contender spot from Emma. If it turns out that this team is on her faction, which I don't know if they're going to go a back-to-back obvious route, but you never know with this show. And this team could only mean good things for the future for Rachel and for Clark. And they have great chemistry, and they're both very close friends. So, and they're both fantastic competitors. So I would say any match they're in is unpredictable. It's going to be fun.
It absolutely is. Well, guys, we got the chance again to sit down with Rachel Cushing and discuss her victory in this #1 contenders match, but also what the futures of the Shire Wolves will be. So just check this one out. I'm sitting with Rachel Cushing, the new #1 contender in the singles league. Rachel, how does it feel to hear those words?
Even though it's been a bit and I've been able to sit with it and process it, it still feels pretty amazing.
Congratulations on such an incredible, dominant performance. That was such an incredible match. Just what were you thinking during it?
You know, it was, Christian said it best, it was the most calm I've ever been playing a match, which is so counter to what I thought was going to happen, what I think a lot of people expected to happen to me, because I've played in #1 contender matches before, and my nerves definitely got the better of me in the team match against Rotten Tomatoes, now MODOK. I don't think necessarily it did in the Inner Geekdom. I think Jason just outplayed me in that match. I'm actually proud of that match. I played very well. He just played better. But you know, 2 #1 contender matches, 2 losses, that was weighing on my shoulders. But on the other hand, I felt good because I'd had a good rest. I mean, the fall was tough for me playing in 3 leagues. I was a little burnt out by the end of it. I think a lot of players were, and to have the break over Christmas really helped me sort of get my head straight and priorities straight, and to not think about movies in terms of trivia for a little while was nice. So when we scheduled this match and you know, we're prepping for it, I felt much more ready for it than I had for some of my matches last year anyway. So going in, I had the nerves, but I also had more confidence in my knowledge and being able to pull it. And then, I don't know, when I started playing, the answers just came, and I felt good about it. And every one that I got right meant I felt that much better about it, and the confidence just kept growing. And I'll tell you, after playing a perfect first round, I said to myself, "You've got this," and I did.
Oh, I want to just bring up round 2. You've got you spin comic book movies. Oscar movies is on the wheel. What was your thought process? Was it to take Mike's category out?
That was a piece of it, but not the majority. Like, honestly, I'm good in comic book movies. Yeah. I know that, you know, like a lot of people think that's a little surprising because I've gotten pigeonholed as the fantasy girl, but I love comic book movies, and I do pretty good in that category in the Inner Geekdom. Maybe not as good as Hector or Jason, but I'm close. And yes, there were several categories on that wheel. I was the one who I wanted my strength to be the Meryl Streep. Like that, I asked for that category. I want that category at some point. So that was on the wheel. Oscars was on the wheel. There were several things that I was comfortable with, but there were a couple I wasn't comfortable with. And, you know, you roll the dice when you spin again. So I honestly, only maybe considered respinning for about 2 seconds because I knew I was good in comic book movies. And then to add to that was the fact that I felt pretty confident that I would get them all, even if I had to go to multiple choice. And that would keep it from Mike, which... I'm sorry, Mike, I do love him, and I feel bad. He had a very tough match, which could happen to any of us. Honestly, it could. He just had a terrible day. It happens. But in the midst of the game, I was like, if I can take this off the board for Mike, that's good for me. So.
Yeah. Speaking of, you again, another one of your matches where you do not have to touch round 3. That's really, really impressive. What you let out something that I don't think a lot of people have noticed is when you win, the scream that you make, or you just have this relief and just unbelievability. Do you just want to talk about that moment? Just because I loved that just scream of yes that you got.
Yeah, it's tough to describe. I mean, I swear to God, it's not an act. Like, I don't know I'm going to win when I go in. Now, I know that I just said that I felt the most confident I ever have in this match. But it's not the same thing when you actually hear, and the winner is Rachel. And then my head just goes, really? I just pulled that off? Like, I don't know. I think I'm my own biggest critic. And it was relief. It was happiness. It was, to shut up haters, hopefully. Probably not. They're always going to hate. But it felt great for me to I guess maybe fulfill the potential that people like Christian and my family and friends and other people in the Schmoedown and a lot of the fans have in me, and it's giving me the confidence to really truly believe that I belong in the league and that, you know, I can go up against the best, which I did in this match.
You certainly and absolutely did. So at the end of this match, you had your post-match interview with Mark Riley. Mike Kalinowski wasn't there for the post-match interview. Do you have any insight you can give our listeners?
I mean, I can't speak for Mike, but I can speak for myself and know that I would have felt the exact same way. It's the way Christian felt after his match at Spectacular. It's the way I felt after my 2-on-1 match. We're all our own worst critics, and Mike had questions that he knew Sacha Baron Cohen, he knew Nicholas Hoult, he just couldn't pull them. And just like I was saying that when you get questions right, your confidence goes up. The more you get wrong, and he went 0 for 4 for the first questions, it messes with your head in the worst way. And I completely understand that. That day is coming for me. That day has come for every competitor in the league and will continue to, because it's the way the game works and it's the way our own minds work. And that's part of the drama. It's part of the fun, but it's also part of the harshness of it. And he took a big hit, and my heart goes out to him. But I also know that he is a fighter. We all are. We wouldn't be doing this if we weren't. And he's got a great comeback story in him now, which I think is great for the league. And I'm excited to see him, to come back stronger than ever. And my God, that Cobra cosplay was amazing. So, Mike, you'll be back. I know you will.
Well, speaking of the cosplay, I would be remiss if I didn't ask, and I'll probably be yelled at by a certain member of Take 3 if I didn't ask. The cliffhanger.
I wonder.
Yes, the cliffhanger cosplay. Now, you have said before that Sarah Connor was who you were normally going to come out as. You didn't this season. Do you want to give us some insight into what brought on about that decision?
Yeah, you were very nervous for me when you saw that I didn't come out as Sarah Connor.
I was. Oh no! You don't tempt fate. Don't tempt fate.
Well, it was, I will give credit where credit is due. This was all Brianne Chandler, which shouldn't surprise anybody. But when she teamed up with Mike, she reached out to all of us and said, look, we're the opening match of the 2018 season. It's the #1 contender match. Let's go big. And she pitched, doing Sylvester Stallone movies because there's a lot of fun ones to choose from. And, we figured that was the bait to get JTE to join us to do this. We thought, if he's going to dress up, this is the one way in which he might do it. And let me tell you, he was on board. I mean, maybe it was all a ploy. In fact, now I'm convinced it was all a ploy. But he said he was on board originally. And then we had to go, into the filmography. And I don't know how much people follow me outside of the Schmoedown, but one of my favorite pastimes is I'm a bit of a mountaineer. My dad is an amateur one. I've been climbing mountains for years. And so for me, cliffhanger was a no question. That gear's mine. I own that stuff. It was not a hard cosplay to do for me. And it was just a fun way to, I think, open the season. And I was going to rip the lion up no matter how I came out. That was a decision I made some time ago. But to add it to the cliffhanger thing was just a fun side thing. It was a one-off. I'm not entirely sure what I'll be doing for the rest of the season. I do love the Sarah Connor, and that you very well might see that come back. But I'm excited for the league as a whole to really branch out and see how people treat entrances this year, because I think they've become a bigger and bigger thing, and more people will get into it. So I have fun coming up with that kind of stuff. And Brianne's the queen of it. So when she's got an idea, you should listen.
Yeah, absolutely. So, yes, I mean, hey, Matt said it, we think we've already got a nomination for, entrance of the year this year. So, hey, first match back, you could go 2 years in a row. All right. Let's move away from the match for a second and talk about the other big reveal that came at the end of this episode, which of course your new teammate Clark Wolf. How do you feel about Clark Wolf being your new teammate?
I have been waiting for this. I think that the potential of this team, and granted, I know it's on paper, we have gotten to know each other really well, and we've talked a lot about it, and I feel like we've got it in person too, but we have to prove it to the fans by playing and proving that it's right. But I just feel it's right. I love all the layers it encompasses in terms of two strong female competitors, in terms of good guys in the league, in terms of our trivia knowledge balancing each other out like almost perfectly. Like where I'm weak, she's strong, and vice versa. And as long as we click up at that table, which we won't know for sure until we play our first match, but I am confident in that, like we're going to take the league by storm. That is absolutely the plan.
As I said in the reaction, they're stuck. Like I swore, but yeah, they're in trouble. That's going to be a really, really great match, and I'm really excited for it. A other bit of tidbit that I think a lot of fans have missed before Clark was revealed, because obviously they got very, very excited about that reveal, was you were on the phone to someone. Any hints that you can give someone that you can give us, any hints at who that might have been?
Let's just say that the league is aware that Clark and I have teamed up, and a lot of people are interested in working with us. And we are definitely on the lookout for somebody to work with. So we're, as you say, fielding offers and feeling out what will be the best fit. But I stand by what I said at the Schmoedown Awards, that the good guys of the league, the baby faces, the people who work hard, have integrity, and are the stand-up members of the various divisions, need to come together. Because if it's one thing I've learned watching the Lions Den, is that they have each other's backs. Normally, I mean, Dagnino will stab a few people here and there, and we've seen it happen. But I like their solidarity, and I'm determined that the heroes in the league will. I think several factions are going to encompass that, and Clark and I are just looking to see where we fit in with all of that.
One manager does have a very, very amazing prize for now, certainly any team, with that is, of course, Emma Fyfe with her #1 contenders match for any one of her picks. Now, everyone has assumed that it's Mark and Draco. Could you guys be tempted to go to Emma Fyfe if that is on the table?
It's certainly something to consider. And like I said before, we're considering a whole bunch of things, but that's absolutely one of the factors to take into consideration. But I think what we're looking for first and foremost is the group that we fit in the most with. And we're determined whether or not we get that kind of a boost from Emma, or we just earn it on our own. Like, we will have a title shot this year as a team. How we get there remains to be seen, but we're just excited to play, and I think that that's our best avenue. But you better believe that Emma knows she's got an ace card, and that is attracting many people to have conversations with her about her faction.
One last question before I leave you. We've talked a lot about singles, obviously. We've talked a lot about the team tournament, but obviously where you made your name for yourself at the start was the Inner Geekdom. Christian announced today 2 Fatal 5-Ways. Are you involved at all in any of those, do you know? Or do you know when you might be stepping back into the Inner Geekdom ring?
Given what I said at the beginning a little bit about how there was a burnout factor in the fall with playing, that is the problem with being a triple threat, or quadruple if anybody ends up doing that, is that's a lot. It's a lot mentally. And those of us that have careers outside of this, scheduling, there's a lot of factors in terms of all of that. So I had to soul search a little bit and realize that based on the number one contender match, that was my priority. And then having won it, now I have to, like, everything in my mind is focused on taking out Sam. And then, you know, now that Clark and I are out with our team and the Shire Wolves, and we're going to be making our run. So Inner Geekdom for me has been placed on the back burner just a little bit. I think Christian's focus, and I think this is the correct focus, is to get more people in that league. And I love both of these 5 ways. There's so many new faces, so many great faces, and it's a great way to get a whole bunch of people in front of the camera and to learn this game and to get shots at Inman. Make no mistake, it will happen, and I will be back in the Inner Geekdom ring this year. But right now, I think it's in my best interest to focus on singles and teams, and I'll make a return maybe this summer at some point with Inner Geekdom.
Fantastic. Well, Rachel Cushing, thank you so much for this interview. And end of the year, hopefully we are seeing you with 3 belts and being the first competitor. Not just win 2 belts, but all 3 at once.
That is certainly the goal. One at a time. Like right now, like I said, I'm coming for Sam. That is something I feel confident that I can do, that I can pull off. And then Clark and I are storming the league. But yeah, I will make a run at all 3. We'll put it that way. Yeah, so I'm very, very excited about 2018, and very excited it started off with such a bang. And yeah, and thanks for having me on, as always.
Thank you so much for that interview, Rachel. Let's move on to the biggest story in the Schmoedown now, outside of this number 1 contenders match, and that is obviously the Patreon that launched on Wednesday. Currently sitting, we have over 1,300 patrons. Thank you so much for everyone who has donated. Christian thanks every single one of you. He is so... I don't mean to speak for him, but I am sure he is absolutely over the moon of the amount of support and love that the Schmoedown has gotten. And this is incredible. If you want to see us break down all of the tiers and go through absolutely everything, check out the live stream that Matt, Chris, Abe, and Kristen did on Thursday, where they broke down literally every single tier and had another interview with Rachel, which was really good. So make sure you do check out that video. Matt, is there anything in this Patreon that is just what about the Patreon this weekend has just taken you by absolute surprise?
It hasn't taken me by surprise so much, but it is this sort of it's sort of this great thing where you see how much the fan base loves this show. This is kind of a thing where it's like you put in effort into a show to build up characters and storylines and great matches, and then when you turn to the fans and you say, hey, we just need your help. We're not asking you to pay for the matches, right? We just need your help so we can get more matches, get better, whatever. We're going to the best of our ability, do it. And that's just what I love about this community, is that Christian has been talking about this Patreon for a while, and Manel has finally figured it all out, and they put it out, and just the within only a couple of days, the overwhelming, support that this has, it just makes me happy, because we can only go up from here, I think, with the support, and just think about all the great things that we're going to get from this, and we're going to get it because of our fellow fans and ourselves if we're Patreons.
Yeah, exactly. There are some amazing tiers here. Chris, what were your thoughts on the Patreon so far and the current? I think it's very safe and not hyperbole to say right now that the Patreon has been a success so far.
It's been a very huge success. I mean, 25. If you even do the math from just the limited tiers alone, they are doing fantastic, and the tiers themselves are actually really, really good and satisfying. Like getting to go to free for all is something any fan would want to do. Getting to thank you from their competitor is something any fan they would want. Getting to choose a pie slice would be something fantastic. It is what it is. This whole thing, I'm glad they finally decided to do it. That's where, I mean, this is something I've always wanted them to do. Personally, I feel like Patreon is a fantastic place for you to get funding, and now that they can kind of back off of the having to basically rely on Collider, because Collider now is just distributing it, it gives them a little bit more freedom, and you get a better product. So the Patreon is fantastic.
Exactly, and what Christian has been saying on the Movie Trivia Schmoedown Facebook group is that they are, by the sounds of it, they are starting to get a bit more comfortable with the support that they have had, that they could possibly start to get more live matches and more events and undercard matches. So, I'm not 100% certain about this. I'm just reading between the lines of what Christian's saying on the Facebook group, but it looks like we're starting to get there, and I'm just going to get you to cut that completely because I don't want to speak for him. So I'm just like, you know what? No, I might get a yo message because of that.
I was going to say, yo, don't speak for me anymore.
No, I'll go through this with a fine-tooth comb now, so I will cut out all of that stuff.
Thank God.
Yeah.
Don't cut out the bits of me stabbing him on the streets of Queens, though. He needs to know I'm doing this.
Well, I'm going to just send that as an isolated video to him through Messenger.
Yeah.
But ready?
Close off your thoughts so I have something to cut to.
Yeah, exactly, Chris. Well, guys, that is the Patreon. We're going to put the link below. Go to the Patreon if you can and are able and can afford to support. Go in, support the Movie Trivia Schmoedown. This is such an incredible thing, and if you can afford it, go and support it. Guys, we've got a few more topics to move on to before we look at what is coming next week. But the other big announcement that came this week, Mark Ellis is returning into the ring, and he is playing Jeff Snyder. Now, we don't know what type of match this will be for. We don't know if I think this will just be a standard regular season match. There will be no stakes. There won't be. It will just be a standard regular match. Winner gets a win, and loser has a loss. Matt, what are your thoughts?
This is an interesting matchup, Snyder and Ellis. Yeah. It's also both of them, I think, want to make, especially Snyder for sure. He made a run at that belt last season. We know coming into singles, he is definitely going to want to make a run for the belt again. Ellis, on the other hand, made his run for the belt in the 2016 season. And in 2017, he wasn't quite able to get there. He got some losses. Listen, everyone he lost to was a worthy competitor, and he played his best in all his matches. It's just the bad thing about the Schmoedown is sometimes you just have to lose. There has to be a winner or losers. They can't end in draws. And so I think Ellis, I assume, is going to try to come back full force right out the gate. And I think going up against Snyder, if he's trying to do that, is a great match because you have one half of the dynasty of team champs right here who is still holding on to that belt a year later. So I think at both ends, it's interesting to sort of see because one of them's going to have to lose, and it just gets me excited. I think this is going to be a great matchup.
It absolutely is. Chris, what are your thoughts on this upcoming match?
Snyder and Ellis is going to be something where I don't know how many sleeves Evan is going to cut off if Ellis loses this one. But also, I'm more excited not for the fact that I can't predict this one. They both kind of have the same skill sets. It's more of I am stuck on the fact is if the Lions Den don't join Jeff, if this means something. Because again, It's now put in my head that something is up. It could be up. So, but taking that out of the equation, I feel like it's not going to be an easy fight for either of them. I think they're both evenly matched. I think they both had great games, bad games, and the banter is going to be great. It's going to be good to see Ellis play again. If you want me to say who I think is going to win, it's going to be Mark, because I have a strong animosity towards the Lions Den at the present time. So anything, I just want to see them lose everything.
But
this
wait,
opening sweep.
Clark,
And yeah,
don't you want Evan to be sad though? This is an interesting thing for you.
Evan being sad gets overshadowed by the fact of somebody who terminates the employment of the best champion ever.
A question here is, so Evan being sad is not a necessity for you?
I have 3 words left to say to you. I really hate you.
The other big announcement that Christian made just literally today was we are going to get 2 fatal 5-ways in the Inner Geekdom division, with the winners playing each other for a shot at Inman. That's huge. That is going to be very, very interesting. Considering a few competitors in here are going to have debuts, I don't quite know if I'm okay with them instantly getting a number 1 contender spot, basically. I think maybe there should be another match next, but that could just be me. Chris, am I wrong here? Am I crazy? Or do you kind of see where I'm coming from?
I can see what you're coming from. I feel like Coy's the only one that really sticks out to me because it's the only one I know, and I've seen him perform. And he's lucked himself out into a couple of really interesting matches, and he's a great person. I don't know how well he's going to face against these guys. I cannot wait for Adam Havelock. He's also one of them, and I'd love to see Adam get back into the ring. We haven't seen him in almost a year. So, Adam, I can't wait to see. And just these 5-ways are going to be fantastic, and I just feel like I want to see more of these. I feel like it's going to be a more common occurrence than maybe just 1 or 2 or 3 times, maybe every couple months. I feel like we're going to get more of these in the future just to get more people on, and you can always commend that.
Yeah, especially with the Inner Geekdom, I do feel like we will be getting a lot more of these Fatal 5-ways because the Inner Geekdom is not weekly. It is a lot more spread out. Matt, what are your thoughts on the 2 Fatal 5-ways that have been announced?
I think this is really interesting. I wonder, looking at the lineup for this first one, it's just, Coy, Mike Carlson. Coy is definitely an interesting person. We've seen him compete quite a few times. So I'm interested to see how he performs this time. We of course don't know who the competitors in the next one are. But to go to your point about the winners of both the 5-ways play for number 1 contender spot, I think the thing we have to remember is the Inner Geekdom is in its infancy in a lot of ways. They've really only had a couple of matches. Like if you take title matches out, so I can kind of see why you would have these 2 fatal 5-ways and the winner plays Iman. I was about to say Navarro because I had other matches on my mind. So yeah, would I love to see a Rachel Cushing or Mike Kalinowski get in on these fatal 5-ways so they could get that number 1 contender shot? Sure, of course I would. But again, I think the Inner Geekdom is a lot of people want to play, and I think doing the fatal 5-ways is a good way to get as many people into the league as possible, because if you get a situation like you get a Mike Kalinowski, Rachel Cushing performs in a fatal 5-way, then you have them established, then you can take those people and put them in singles matches, but you gotta sort of have them compete first.
I agree with that, but here what I'm worried about is you think about, look, we don't know who the competitors that have been announced for both Fatal 5-ways. We know some of the ones for this first one. But, that you think we've got Robert Meyer Burnett, you've got Hector Navarro, Jeremy Johns, Mike Kalinowski, Emma Fyfe, Jay Washington, Rachel Cushing. Like, all of these are competitors who deserve at least another shot to get into a fatal five-way to get that number one contender spot. And I just feel like maybe instead of just having two fatal five-ways, the winner plays to go to a fatal, why not just spread it out for a few weeks and do 5 fatal five-ways? That's 25 competitors. The winner goes on and plays in one more fatal five-way. The winner goes on to play Jason Inman.
I get what you're saying, Jacob, but to go to the Schmoedown, if you look at when the Schmoedown started at Collider, Dan Murrell played against John Campia and Scott Mance, and then he got a title shot with Riley when there are well-established people who played in 2014 and 2015 who didn't get matches before to play Riley. So this is, it's not okay. Maybe they haven't done it exactly like this in Schmoedown, but it's not short runs to a title match are not a new thing for the Schmoedown.
I know they're not a new thing. Yeah, I get that. They're not a brand new thing at all, but I feel like
I do get what you're saying, though. When you have when you have like a Mike Kalinowski who is 0-2 and his record in no way reflects him as a competitor, yeah, maybe you should have him play against a Robert Meyer Burnett and maybe have them be more, since they're already established. That I can agree with. That I can see that definitely. I can see that.
But I'm not saying, and I get the fatal five-way format for Inner Geekdom is perfect because. Like, it's not perfect, but it's probably best because you have limited runs and you have limited opportunity to have these matches. You are able to get more competitors, and you can do more of them. I just think it's a little. I think there's a missed opportunity here to put in some fantastic players with some newcomers and see if any newcomers really blossom. I mean, the one real newcomer that we've got in this announced one the established player, that we've got in this new, so far announced match is Koi Jandrew. And I listed off 7 players who I think deserve at least a shot in a number one, at least a shot in a fatal five-way to get to a number one contender spot. Now, I get the argument that they're trying to, that Title Week is probably going to be somewhere in March. I'm probably going to be mid-March. We're probably going to get Title Week then, and they want Title Week. They want to know who is going to be fighting in Title Week. And I get that. I just feel like
But the other thing to remember, Jacob, is there's another Fatal Five-Way in which no one has been announced yet. So it's very possible we could get Jay Washington, Hector Navarro, Mike Kalinowski in that Fatal Five-Way. It's extreme. It's possible that like this one Fatal Five-Way is kind of more introducing more new competitors, and the next one is going to be more semi-established Inner Geekdom players. It's possible.
Yeah, and that's possible. And look, we don't know what is, and you're right, we don't know what's in that other match, and we don't. I just, it's just something that bugs me a little bit that they're straight into a number one contenders match. I feel like we're missing a step, but that's me. Let's move on to next week, which is a number one contenders match. Our last topic of the day, Top That versus Top 10. Matt, what are your thoughts on this, and who do you have?
I can't get my shades, but if I could. This should be action first and foremost at BSX Spectacular. How's the back doing, Roka? I'm sorry, cut that. I'm sorry. Let me do that over again. Yeah, so Top That versus Top 10. I think this is going to be a pretty top number one contenders match in the record books. So, sorry, couldn't get past. I apologize. Actually, no, I don't. Yeah, so Top That is interesting because we have not seen them play since before the tournament. Of course, We know that they were supposed to be in the tournament, and then things happened and they were unable to play, and so this is their return. And of course, Top 10 is coming off of that win against Action at Spectacular. And so it's interesting team up. Top 10, we know, wants that title match. They want that title match with the Patriots, especially after what happened on July 4th. They want to get back and they want to destroy the Patriots. And top that, I'm interested because, again, we haven't seen top that play in a while. So, I don't know, this is a real, like, there's unpredictable Schmoedown matches. This is one of them where I literally don't know what's going to happen here. But I can assume it's going to be a heck of a match.
It absolutely is. Chris, where are your thoughts on this one and where are you leaning?
For top that versus top 10, I'm going with top that. I feel like IGN has proven themselves, even though they've lost a bit. I feel like had IGN been in the Ultimate Schmoedown, Action might have been retired by now. It would be obsolete because they would have steamrolled Action instead of Cinema Blend. But look. Top that is also as Jim Babida. And I think Jim Babida as a player is better than both John Roca and Matt Nost combined as a player. Not with accomplishments, but as a player and as somebody with knowledge, I think he's better than both of them combined. I love John. I love Matt to death. But I feel like Jim Babida being on that team and Eric, even though sometimes he seems like dead weight, he does know his stuff as well. So this could be an opening suit of very unpredictable matches. And I feel like this one and the next one on Friday that we're going to talk about, I don't know if there's a forefront winner with this. I don't.
Neither here. Look. It breaks my heart to say this. I don't think top 10 are good enough. I think that they got very, very lucky in their match against the Schmoes. I think the match against, 2015, they were incredible. They were absolutely incredible in that run. Their match against team champs, will go down in history as one of the best performances by a team in a Schmoedown match. However, their title win against the Schmoes came off a terrible round 2 by the Schmoes and a terrible decision by Christian Harloff. And they have never, they are good enough to keep getting this question, but they're just not good enough to get to the next level and then take the belt. And I don't think they're gonna make it this time. I love Team Top 10. They are one of my favorite teams in the Schmoedown. I just don't think they got the skill to take the belt from Patriots. And I don't know if they've got the skill to beat Top That. Top That are a scary team. Top That are one of these teams where if they played in the Ultimate Schmoedown tournament last year, it would have been interesting what side of the bracket they were on. If they were on above the line side of the bracket, we could have that would have been one of the most interesting brackets. If they were on Team Action side of the bracket, I don't think Top That I don't think Team Action make it past the first round. I don't. I think Top That win that match against Team Action. But look, this is going to be a very interesting match, and if top 10 win this match, I think it is going to be a huge victory. And I'm hoping it's going to give them a hell of a lot of confidence going into against Patriots, because I know how much they want to beat Patriots. I know how bloodthirsty they are to beat Patriots and redeem themselves. This is a team who have beaten them twice. Last time, very embarrassingly. The time before that, they stole their belts from them. I can't see them getting past Top That. Any other team, maybe. If the match against Team Action was for a title shot, that would have been better. If that happened and they were given a title shot, easy, 100%. I reckon they're probably going up against Patriots and they're probably winning.
I wouldn't quite say.
They knocked them out, mate. Like, they knocked him out and a player got kind of angry. He had to break the rules. So, you know. Yeah. Whereas I think Top That just are too good. Now, look, we've only seen one match of, like, we haven't seen enough of Top That yet.
Yeah.
I think, like, they have shown that they are really, really good, but it breaks my heart to say this, but Top That are winning.
It is the interesting thing here with Top 10 versus Top That is, which, of course, why do we have to get these matchups where it's two people who are Top 10? Top 10, they've been around since 2015. We have seen them play great matches in the past, whereas Top That, we have not seen them play as much, but we have seen them be very dominant. You know, this is very above the line-ish. Above the Line did not play until the tournament, and we saw how dominant they came in. So this is real interesting. You know, this is Anakin Obi-Wan, where Obi-Wan's got more of the experience, Anakin has more of the power, which is gonna win. This is interesting.
All right, let's move on to the other big match next week. One that was teased at Spectacular. Okay, on paper, this match makes no sense. I'm kind of wondering why this match is happening. Lon Harris versus Cody Hall. The last time we saw Cody Hall play was in the 2014 Ultimate Singles Tournament, and he lost to Mark Ellis. The last time we saw Lon Harris play, he beat Mark Bernardin, who everyone was touting as the next champion. I don't see this on paper, where the matchup is, and they kept teasing it at Spectacular, which was great. Like, I'm happy it's happening. Like, this is going to be a really good match. I don't. 1 + 1 is not equaling 2 right now, I don't get it. Chris, can you explain what I don't get?
You can't explain the unexplainable, because this match is meant to be the most oxymoron of a match ever. We are going to get an experience. I can just sense it. This match will be one that will exemplify theater, like the Nerds Watch versus Blofeld's Cat match was all basically a theater production. This one's going to be a theater production. It's going to be fun. I don't necessarily think that Cody Hall, I've said I feel like Cody Hall might get steamrolled by Lon because of how good he is, but you never know. This could be really, really fun. And Lon is such a great personality, and he has such a great heart, and he's a wonderful human being, if you've seen him on Screen Junkies, that he's just going to bring so much to the table, and everybody loves Cody. Cody's amazing. He's the octopus of Schmoedown and Collider. And I have so much respect for Cody, and I'm rooting for Cody and Lon. I want both of these guys to win this. I hope there's not even a match. It's just a bunch of things that happen, and it's gonna be glorious. This match, I don't know what the hell is going to happen. I don't think anybody on this panel knows what the hell is going to happen.
I have no idea whatsoever. This match is just, look, I would love to see Cody win this match. I would love to see it, because it would just be, you know, Collider getting up again. It would just be like the Collider Screen Junkies personal rivalry. Like, it's very friendly rivalry, but the rivalry between Collider and Screen Junkies, this would just be another notch in that belt, and I think that would be really cool. And that, to me, all right, if that's how you're going to go through it, and that's why we're justifying this match, okay, fair enough, cool. It's a Collider versus Screen Junkies. Awesome, I can understand that. Matt, where are you landing on this one?
Here's the thing. Cody Hall engineers all the Schmoedown matches, okay? Now, he is listening to just movie trivia non-stop. You know, let's give Cody, you know, because I read the Facebook page. Everyone's like, oh, Lon is going to steamroll Cody. Lon's going to steamroll Cody. Let me set you up this picture, okay, of a match, all right? We have a guy who, in his first match, breaks the singles record and everyone says, give him the title match with Damro. And we have a guy who lost to an Olympic gold medalist and just kept on losing and losing. Pretty sure the guy who everyone's touting as the next champ is going to just steamroll the guy who lost to the gold medalist, correct? So how that turned out. Kids, the Schmoedown is an unpredictable beast. So don't count out Spider-Man, alright? I'll leave it at that.
That is a very, very well-made point. Let's wrap her up here. Thank you so much, guys. Those matches this week air, of course, as always, Top That versus Top 10 at 2 p.m. PST on Tuesday, and Friday, Lon Harris versus Cody Hall at 2 p.m. PST. Guys, my name is Jacob Blunden. Thank you so much for joining this. I want to thank my panelists today. Matthew Kearns, where can the good people find you online?
You guys can find me at Kearns_Matthew on Twitter, MattMovies611 on YouTube, and right here hosting Second Look. And I'm always around on Summit and Reactions.
Chris Clark, where can the good people find you online?
You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at ChrisClark8788. Those numbers mean nothing. You can find me every Wednesday hosting Suddenly Soundtracks, where we dissect a musical song by song and judge a movie solely based on the soundtrack that it provides. You can find me every weekend hosting Family Game Night, where we play a game and bullshit, and it's fantastic. Or you can find me on YouTube at No Man's Land Entertainment. Bada bing, bada boom.
And you guys can find me on Facebook and Twitter where at Jacob London, and on Letterboxd, where I do all my movie reviews and discussions. Thank you so much for joining us for this Reactors Summit. I want to thank my very special guest, Rachel Cushing, for coming on and giving that interview again for us. And, of course, Dale the Dude. Make sure you go check out his Twitter page where you can see all of his recaps. They are awesome and a lot of fun. Until next time, guys, my name is Jacob Blunden, and we will see you next time. Take care.